Our man, cheers.
Cheers. What are we talking about?
So,
I already forgot the topic.
before we talk about today's topic, let's talk about this amazing sake that Tomoko gave us.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is another Daiginjo. I thought you would like this one. This
Yeah.
is also...
But this isn't Junmai.
Is it?
I don't think so. It doesn't taste like it is.
Oh, no, this is Daiginjo. You're right. This isn't Junmai.
Mm.
So it's got that stronger taste to it.
Yeah,
that bite.
It tastes a little bit more like traditional alcohol.
So
Like it's kind of almost got a whiskey taste to it. It's got like that burning. We good?
Yeah. Here, let me... Sorry. Let me try it again. Okay. Sorry,
good?
I was just
okay.
getting like a big...
Yeah. So it's got like a little bit of that burning taste.
Yeah.
To it.
Well, I mean, they
It's
did
good.
add in some distiller's alcohol, but
Yeah.
this is normally the kind that you like unless your palate is changing.
I
No?
can drink anything.
Yeah, right.
I really like. Oh my god, I always forget. What's the one with the really heavy rice flavor?
Like the...
Namazake.
or sorry, I pronounced that incorrectly. It's kizake, kizake actually.
Kizake. It's not namazake.
No, it's the same kanji, but it's pronounced ki.
Kizake. Oh well, I really like kizake.
Yeah.
That I would say, if I were to like do a tier of like, that would actually be a fun episode to talk
Yeah.
about. It's just like Nihonshu.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if I were to talk about like what probably my favorite is, it's probably like kizake is probably my favorite, and then I would say now it's Junmai.
Junmai. Yeah, I understand.
I've changed.
You've changed.
I've changed.
You've changed.
Yeah.
But this is still very nice, though. I like this one.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Daiginjo is like always the
Daiginjo
best.
anything
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about laundry
Yeah.
and doing the laundry, which you said is your second.
It's the second most stressful thing in my daily life.
Sounds wonderful.
Number one being garbage.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a universal thing. I think everyone just stresses about garbage.
Yeah. We talked about that. But why is laundry so stressful for you?
Laundry is stressful because I don't own a dryer.
Like most Japanese people.
But that is changing.
Yeah, it is.
So my wife is coming home on Sunday.
Okay.
And my mother-in-law is coming with her.
Mhm.
And as a wedding gift, we are getting a washer-dryer.
Oh, you are?
We are getting a washer-dryer.
A washer-dryer.
Very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, most people don't own dryers here.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Which was a totally weird concept
it's a
to
really
me.
weird concept, especially given the fact that what I'm about to say, the main stressor that I have is my clothes don't dry.
Okay.
And you have a huge problem with this in the summer.
Okay.
Now, I know you're Mr. Fancy Pants with your nice big house where you put all your laundry in the bathroom and it dries everything out.
It's very nice.
I'm a normal person that lives in Japan, and I put my clothes out outside
Okay.
along with everybody else.
Okay.
And during the winter, no big deal, right?
Yeah. It
Winter
dries
is
it out.
very dry in Japan. It's kind of the opposite, is like, or at least in Seattle, like winter's very humid in Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, it's the opposite here in Japan. You'll actually get nosebleeds if you don't have a humidifier.
Yeah,
next to
right,
you
right.
When you sleep at night.
Right.
But summer is mega humid. In fact, it's starting to get really humid now.
Yeah,
right?
you tell me, man.
And so I had this problem just the other day, in fact, where if you put your clothes out
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to dry them in humid weather, what will end up happening is they'll often get like really mildewy.
Oh, yeah, right. And you get
And
like
they'll
that
get like
namagusai smell to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll get like that stink. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a mildew stink.
Yeah.
And that is so frustrating because what that means is you got to wash it again.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like you're just having this constant battle with the humidity here.
Yeah, so just to kind of like take it back to where we're coming from, right? So we come from the land of the washer dryer where like even let me just ask my dad. Hey Dad, when you were a kid, did you guys have a dryer, clothes dryer, or just washing machine? Just a machine. When did you guys get a dryer? Like 70s, 80s, 90s?
Oh, probably.
Late 70s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when my dad was a kid in the 50s and 60s, they didn't really have they just had a washing machine, right?
Yeah.
But then in the late 70s, they had a dryer. And
Yeah.
you know, we grew up with a dryer, which is like you wash it, then normally the dryer is attached to it, so you take it from the washing machine, you just go flip, then throw it in.
Yep.
Flip, throw it in.
Yeah.
Push the button.
Yeah, it's I think one thing that I will say that the US has like really just got locked down is daily chores.
Daily chores, right.
Right? You have a washing machine, you have a dryer, and you have a dishwasher.
Right.
Right? And so I remember growing up, and you know, I probably should have done more chores as a kid, right? But I didn't. But even doing those chores, it was like such a trivial thing, like to get dishes done. Like I hate doing dishes. It's such a oh god, it's like one of my least favorite things to do. But back in the US, it's like, all right, you just like, you know, use the sink to like wash off all the big stuff, and it's like if you got like sauce stains or whatever on the dishes, whatever, you just put that in the dishwasher that cleans and it dries everything. Right. And so the only thing you really have to do is just put the dishes away.
Yeah, right. You rinse them and you put the dishes away.
And you're starting to see that catch on here in Japan, but still, like I would say, actually, I have never been to an apartment in Japan that has a dishwasher.
Yeah, right.
Whereas if I was in the US, having a dishwasher is like, I lived in 2 apartment complexes in the US, and both of them had dishwashers.
Yeah, right. So like, you know? Yes. So in America, when you go into an apartment, it's pretty standard issue that you're gonna get a an oven with 4 mostly electric burners.
And I really want to emphasize, this is a big oven. This is not
oven.
like the little like compact thing that you put. This is like a full like giant thing in your kitchen.
Like maybe not you, but like probably Natsumi could climb into it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's that level of big, and there's always a washing machine.
Yes.
Too. And
more often than not a dryer.
Yeah, right. And we lived in the crappiest apartment ever, but we had a washer and a dryer and all that stuff too. But like Natsumi's parents just got a dishwasher 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like a thing, you know? But you know, it's funny how it's like, so one thing that's kind of interesting for me when you have that too is, you know, because they're so standard issue in the United States, they're kind of like built into the kitchens. Like the washing machine is built into the counter, right? Yeah. And the oven is like right next, the same height as the counter, right? Whereas in Japan, if you want to get an oven, you have to put it somewhere else. If you want to get a dishwasher, you have to put it somewhere else. Yeah. You know, and there's not much space.
No, that's completely. So one of the things that I'm really happy about is that we're getting a washer dryer. It's one unit.
Yeah.
Because of that exact problem. It's like if I wanted to add a dryer to my apartment, there's literally nowhere to put it. Right. But yeah, it's just such a crazy thing, like growing up with that and then moving here, and it's like
you feel like it's like
what's going on?
You guys can like heat up your toilets and put on bidets that sing to you, but there's no dryer.
It's so crazy because exactly, right? You have such sophisticated like bathroom stuff.
Yeah,
and
dude,
then
their baths are on point, man.
Dude, I look. When I go back to the US, I feel like I'm living in like the Stone Age when it comes to toilets. Like I cannot. It drives me insane because actually my apartment in Shonan, we don't have a bidet in our toilet right now, and I just put this off. Like I really need to. I planned on buying this for a while now, but it's so horrible using a toilet without a bidet now. Once you're used to it, it's like, oh god, toilet paper. Oh
yeah. So one thing that is interesting though. So speaking about that stuff too, and then speaking about comfort. So one thing that I love about dryers in the United States is when you finish a load and you just like take the blankets and you get that warmth. So
especially during the winter, man, when it's cold out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's like one of the things that I remember is like that. But one thing that's also interesting is that I don't know if this is for all the houses, but I know at the house that I grew up in, like the dryer was connected to, it had a special vent outside of the house.
Yep.
So because you can't let that air stay in the house, I guess. I don't know why.
I don't know.
But I get a similar feeling with that now because you know, we we have a yokshitsu kansoki, like in the bathroom in the you have like the dryer, which actually now, so we just moved to a new place.
Yeah.
It's louder and stronger, but doesn't dry as thoroughly as
you messed up by moving out of.
I messed up, man.
Musashi
I should just go back. but I get that. But I got to tell you, one of the things that like I would miss if I moved back to the United States is when the dryer is on full blast and it's been on for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then like I just open the door, run into that room and close the door, and I just feel the heat. It's like not quite. It's like not being in a sauna, but it's like this perfect cuddly warmth that's like, oh yeah, I just feel like I'm in heaven.
Yeah,
with all the wet clothes in the room too.
It is so great. I really like. I am 100% on team dryer, man.
Yeah.
Like I one of the things that I really hope changes, and I think it is changing, but like, you know, dryers and dishwashers start getting more adopted here because I'm so tired of that mildew smell.
Yeah, that's another thing that
look, at the end of the day, the mildew smell is my fault.
Yeah.
Because the correct thing to do is to put your clothes out for a correct amount of time.
Yeah.
And then bring them in.
Yeah.
But look, like, I'm going to be honest, most of the time when I'm doing laundry, I'm doing it late at night right before I'm about to go to bed.
Okay.
And then I hang it up for like overnight, and then I go to work, and then I come back.
Hang it up overnight?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I know that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like the system is made for like people who, you know, you have like stay-at-home moms or something like that, because, you know, it's weird because, you know, there's this whole, now that I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Like my whole mindset around that is different now. Like when it's getting to be like 4 p.m. and I see that the clothes are still outside, I'm like, holy crap, it's gonna get dark soon. I need to take them in before they get smelly, because they do get smelly if they're out. But then there's this whole other like industry where they have like laundry detergent that has like antibacterial stuff to keep the smell from happening.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you just got some dryers, like you wouldn't even need this.
Yeah. But that is kind of interesting that, you know, you said like so like toilets and baths are amazing, whereas like the laundry stuff is.
Yeah, it's really interesting how like when you look at the US, when you look at like home appliances, there's a significant amount of like really interesting innovation and like sophistication with the appliances. Like a couple things that I would point out in US homes is the washer and dryer, dishwasher, and the refrigerator. Like
what about the fridge?
Well, I mean, people have really fancy refrigerators in the US. I would say like most homes, like they'll have like an ice machine.
Yeah.
They'll have a fresh water dispenser.
Oh yeah, right.
The refrigerator will have like a really built-in like a big freezer, and then a lot of room for storage, and the refrigerators are huge.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Like even, I mean, it's not like you can't get big refrigerators here in Japan, but like, man, most of the refrigerators I see here are like 2/3 of the size of the refrigerators I see in the U.S.
And also in the States, a lot of houses have a separate freezer to it, like in addition to their freezer, they'll have like a whole like chest.
Yeah, so you'll have the refrigerator in the kitchen, and then usually in like the laundry room or wherever there will be this giant freezer. That you put like meat in or whatever.
Yeah. Like people buy meat when it's on sale, and then they'll just throw it in there.
Yeah, and just let it be frozen.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, I understand like there's a space issue here in Japan, so you just wouldn't have room for it. But yeah, it's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
And so like, but you have all the sophistication, but then when you look at like the bathroom, for some reason, the bathroom, we still have the same damn bathrooms as we do in the 1940s.
Porcelain seats that feel like ice in December.
Super cold in the winter. No bidets.
Yeah.
Bathtubs that like you have to use like faucets and like twist knobs for, and like you can't even time that shit when you.
Yeah, but also like a lot of times the baths are kind of shallow. in the States too.
That too, man.
Or they're porcelain and they get cold really quickly.
Yeah. And so it's just like really crazy to me because like when you come back to here in Japan, again, talking about like basic apartments, houses are a whole different thing. But when you're talking about basic apartments here in Japan, unless you're getting in like some 40 or 50-year-old apartment that's like super cheap and really old, and it's like obvious that like you're just trying to save money living in there. If you're just living in a basic apartment, you will have a bidet with a toilet that like sings to you and heats the seats, does all that stuff. You'll have a bathtub that you can program and set times to fill the bath with, and it will fill exactly up to the level that you want it to fill. Like that is basic appliances here in Japan. It's so weird.
I wish you could like merge the two of them and then it'd be perfect.
Just combine both of them together, right?
But so why do you think it is that like in Japan you have such development in the toilet and the bath situation, but in America it's more like fridges, washing machine, laundry and stuff?
I would say that it's a cultural priority.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't want to sound misogynistic when I say this, but I think in Japan, a lot of the emphasis on doing laundry and doing dishes are placed upon the wives.
Yeah, right.
And so I think culturally speaking here, at least why it hasn't really caught on until recently is because Japan's looked at this and gone, well, why do we need this? Wife just does that.
Yeah.
Why do we need to get this appliance? That's your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like for like if you have a stay-at-home wife, that stuff isn't really that big of a deal. But if both of you guys are working, and women have been in the workforce a lot longer in the United States compared to Japan,
significantly longer.
So that the development has happened sooner.
So it's like this need of look. I need laundry and I need dishes to be automated.
Yeah, right.
Because, both the husband and the wife in the U.S. are gone during the day. They don't have time to set out laundry and get the dishes clean. So it's definitely like a different emphasis on things where I think it's like, again, I think this is a cultural thing. I think in the U.S. we don't place bath time as like a comfort time.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a cleaning time.
And it's not even like a daily thing. Whereas here it's like it's a daily thing.
Yeah, it's like I never took baths in the U.S. You take a shower and the shower's not for relaxation. It's just like I need to be clean.
Yeah, right.
And then that's done.
Right.
Whereas bath time here in Japan is more of like a relaxation, kind of like a de-stressing time.
Yeah, right.
And so I think that there's been a lot of advancements done over here because people have a greater emphasis. Yeah. It's the same with toilets. I think toilets just kind of go hand in hand with like bathing. Yeah. Where it's like there's a greater need to feel clean.
You know what's really funny that I just made me think about this. So there's this author in Japan. He was really active in like the 30s. His name is Tanizaki Junichiro, and he wrote a kind of like a lot of like weird stuff. I don't want to go into details with it. But then he was writing he wrote like a newspaper editorial series about and the series got published in a book called In Praise of Shadows.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, why traditional Japan is better, basically.
Okay.
Which is stupid because at the end he's like, yeah, to be honest, I would like to live in a Western style house, but
yeah, Japan's better. Actually, you know what? This Western thing's pretty good too.
And it was one of these books that I was looking forward to read when I just started learning Japanese, and I got around to read it, and I'm like, this is just an old guy complaining about life changing. But anyways, the first thing he talks about is the morning at the outhouse and how that is like, because at that time they had outhouses, you know, and that was like a holy time for him. And like I think Natsumi Soseki like also wrote in his writings about how that's like the most special part of the day. And it's like the toilet area. So I guess that's where it comes from.
I could see that, but you know what? Okay, so Japan, I'm addressing all to Japan, right? I'm gonna make a request.
Please be polite, man.
As a man,
don't get us canceled.
You know what? I'm gonna try not to. As a man who is tall, and look, you know what? I'm not gonna say a foreign man because I have high schoolers in my school who are taller than me now.
Wow.
because we've gone co-ed, so there's a lot of boys who are taller. So this whole concept of like Japanese people being short, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I know there's tall people here. Okay? So as a tall person, please just make the toilets a little bit taller.
Yes.
Because do your legs go numb? Like
they do. That's why they go numb. That's why they go numb.
Yes, it's because the toilet height. It's because the blood, like you're sitting down and your legs are at this angle, so the blood doesn't get to your legs because.
I thought I was just getting older.
No, it's because the toilets are lower.
Yeah, well, I did notice that the toilets were lower, and it was kind of like.
Yeah, it's because you're sitting at this, and when you're at that height, the blood doesn't get to your toilet or it doesn't get to your legs, and so they go numb.
Get to your toilet. That's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, dude, when you buy your house, you can get a specially.
You know
tall
what?
Toilet.
I just want it doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit.
Why don't you put like a child seat on top of that to raise it up?
But yeah, that and I think archways or like the entrance for doorways.
Oh, okay, they're really low.
You're noticing that they're changing a little bit, but man, dude, like I'll tell you, my old apartment was built in the 1960s.
Okay,
it was a super old apartment, and my doorway was built for a person who is I would say 5'5". Yeah,
right.
Or in centimeters, what would that be? 160 centimeters.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Right.
And it's like, I think the older generation in Japan was probably around that height. But it's like, dude, you could be a person who's Japanese right now, and I think you would be hard pressed to find someone our age in Japan that is that height.
Yeah.
Or at least men.
Yeah, well, people are getting taller,
Yeah, people are getting way taller.
Yeah, well, even like this place, right? So, I mean, this place was built in the 70s, I think.
And the archways are, again, short. You have to duck, and it sucks when you're tall.
Yeah, and you're taller than me, so
it sucks.
I know it's tough, man.
I mean, luckily, I still have hair. I'm sure when I go bald, I'm going to have a problem with this. But I have scars on the top of my head from when I've dinged my head coming home drunk.
Do you so just a question about that tall people problems. What is it like with trains? Do you hit your head on like the handles
all the time?
Yeah,
all the time. In fact, today
too,
smacked my face. So what? Okay, like obviously I'm not some idiot. I don't walk into the handles. But I'll tell you what I often have problems is like people will hang on to the handles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
then they'll let go.
When they're getting off the train, they'll let go, and like they don't immediately let go, right? They kind of hang on to it a little and then let go when they're getting off, so it swings and it just smacks me right in the face every single time when I'm on the train. It drives me nuts. Stop doing it,
dude. I wish I could film that. That's like,
oh my god,
dude. I feel like if we could film like 20 of those and make that in like a video compilation.
It's so frustrating because like I'll be sitting there like I mostly encounter this when I'm on the Yamanote line because I'll be honest, I'm a big fancy man on the Tokaido line. I ride in the green car.
You ride in the green car, dude. It's worth it.
Oh god, 100%.
It's worth it.
100%. I gotta sneeze.
Achoo! You okay,
anyways.
Chief? You back?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little drunk now. but when I'm riding the Yamanote line, obviously it being the Yamanote line, it's the most busy train line in Japan, right? Because it's the one that just goes around Tokyo.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are getting off the train every single train station, and every single goddamn time they let go of the handle, and it always hits me in the same place. It's always like right on the upper side of my forehead.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying.
Yeah. See, I'm short enough to the point where it like barely touches. Whiffs. Yeah, like if it touches me, it'll get my hair a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy I am not taller than I am in Japan because I'm like right at the limit where if I get a little taller, I get way more inconvenienced.
I would say. I mean, look, I haven't traveled around the world, but I would say in the places that I've been, Japan is a very inconvenient place for tall people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen there's like a photo montage somewhere of like tall people problems in Japan? I got to send that to you later, man.
Yeah.
But
I could probably relate to that quite a bit.
You probably could. But we have gone quite far away from laundry stuff, and I don't want to give you any more trauma by talking about laundry. We talked about it, but yeah, I think
this is
we're about halfway through. Yeah, this is really nice too. I normally normally only drink ginjo, but this is really smooth too.
It's got some bite to it,
just a little bit.
But yeah, it's like bite in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like you drink it and you're just like, man, that's some rich flavor, and then a little bit of.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you next time.
All right.